Welcome, folks, to the IWM broadcast of the National Sim Racing League's Bluegrass 250 here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. I am your host, Rick Sousa, and I'm joined with my co-host, John DeRudris, for tonight's broadcast. John?
Hey, Rick. Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful day for racing here in Kentucky in the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. As you are looking on to Dan Withers in that bad 67 machine, running around here trying to get some fast qual laps going. Yeah, Rick, it's gonna be a fun one because they don't go to this track anymore. This is off the schedule. It came around, and it was around for about 10 years, I would say, and maybe even less. And then they just went away from it as of a little bit late. So very interesting to see these cars on this track. Kind of good to be back in Kentucky because I thought it was a fun track to drive on.
It sure is. It's another one of those mile-and-a-half tracks. It's a fun track to be on. It's got some wide straightaways, so it should be interesting. I think we've got a little bit of a scheduling conflict, I think, so our drivers tonight are a little sparse, but we'll make the best of it.
Yes, we will. Absolutely. So, kind of getting into the history of this track. Like you said, Rick, it's a mile-and-a-half Tri-Oval Speedway in Sparta, Kentucky. It's hosted everything from ARCA to NASCAR to Indy since it opened in 2000. So it's a very interesting track. The corners are a little odd because turn 1 and 2 is not the same as 3 and 4. Very interesting track here tonight at Kentucky. But looking on at your track facts for tonight, Bluegrass 250, we have 3 stages with stage breaks at lap 40 and lap 80, with the race ending on lap 167. They have 1 qualifying lap, 6 sets of tires, and we are looking at an open setup race, which means everybody has their own different setups. It's not fixed setup, which means everybody has the same setup. So you're going to see a lot of different strategies tonight here in the Grand National Series, and it looks like the track temp, it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot, so expect some sliding around like we've seen all season from these Grand National Series drivers here, and that may play a little bit into my 3 keys of the race there, Rick. So we will see what those are a little bit later on.
So let's take a look at the current standings here with these drivers. Let's see where we are at with the current points.
So you have Kyle Milliken leading the pack with his 3, with the gang of Elevated Motorsports drivers there of Justin Dilts, Alan Crowell, and Ryan Chapman making up 1 through 4. And then you have the trio of Southern E Motorsports there of Ty Bostic, Dan Withers, and Luke Bullard there in 5, 6, and 7. In 8th, you have Mark Sikosi there out of Affordable SEO Racing. And then rounding out your top 10 is Elliott Swope and Michael Carpenter of iRacing Warriors Motorsports. If that sounds familiar, yes, that does sound familiar because that is our team. So shout out to those guys. But Rick, take it from there. Who's in 11th?
11th is Bill Hull with 164 points, followed by Brandon Berrier with 139. 13th is Evan Amick. 14th, Ryan Broderick. 15th, Kenneth Bradstock, followed by Zachary Allen, Don DeGroot, Thomas Thompson. And I think there's a few other drivers there following Thomas: David Courier, Josh Aaron, Chris Robley, Ashton Crowder, Brian Wiggins, James Miller, and Thomas Pera.
So that rounds out your current NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series point standings, with Kyle Milliken taking a commanding lead over really the rest of the field. I mean, 1st through 4th is over 100-point gap there, or 1st through 5th rather, 100-point gap. So Kyle Milliken has a stranglehold on this series as of right now. Well, and we're getting kind of close to halfway in the season, Rick.
So I say it is a bit early, and I know Kyle Milliken is not here tonight. So, the Justin Dilts is here from his team. Alan Crowell is here from his team, but also Dan Withers is here as well. So, there's a lot of the top 10 drivers are here. So we'll see.
Yeah, it definitely opens the door for other drivers to get points, and that's what it comes down to in the end when they're racing at Phoenix for the championship and they go to the round of 12, round of 8, and that final season finale. It's going to come down to where you stand in the point standings for the regular season and how you can transition that over into securing a spot for that season finale. But Rick, it looks like they set up a 10-minute qualifying session, so we have about 3 minutes left. And let's see if we can bring up the current qualifying tower and see who is going to possibly lead the field for tonight's Bluegrass 250. Right now, you have Ryan Chapman there putting on am I reading that correctly? Does he have a full second on Dan Withers?
He does. That's a 31-14.
Wow. So Ryan Chapman doing amazing work there in first. You have Dan Withers in second, Ryan Broderick in third, and then Courier there in fourth. And it looks like we have some other drivers making their way on the track. I believe that is the number 9 machine of Alan Kroll there in that awesome All-Star / iBuyPower number 9 Camaro. What a good-looking paint scheme that is. He's looking to possibly move up just a little bit in the point standings ahead of his elevated motorsports companions there. But we'll see what kind of lap Mr. Allen can put on. Let's see if we can maybe even ride in car as he's about to take the first lap of his qualifying run here at Kentucky. So it's a wide track. It's a wide sweeping track. Almost reminds you of like a mini Michigan in a sense, where the corners are very long and sweeping. And here he goes, going to drop it down to the bottom, going to sling all the way up to the top of the wall, going to let off that gas there, let that coast down to the bottom, and then get right back into the gas about mid-corner, right through the apex, and he's going to sling it right back up to that top side of the wall, going to ride that all the way through. Putting on a good lap so far, going to drop that all the way down to the bottom side of the track, got to hold on to it there, Alan. And he's back in the throttle, going 150 miles an hour right now. He's probably going to hit the line at about 170.
Yeah, it's only one qualifying lap here, so whatever that is, it is.
Yeah, but 32-32. So not the fastest lap for Mr. Kroll here tonight, but, you know, it is a smaller field tonight. So, you know, all spots do matter, but, you know, you never know what will happen here tonight, especially with something that I think may be really relevant is the long runs. So we will see what happens as we are nearing T-minus 1 minute until the start of tonight's Bluegrass 250.
So that will probably be our last qualifier. And I think that we'll just kind of grid up here in just about a minute. There's not much time left.
I think so. So I just want to give a shout out to all of the wonderful sponsors that the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series has. Of course, you have Speed Demon, Affordable SEO and Marketing. You have Elevated Outdoors, York Realty, and last but not least, obviously, well, of course, Speed Demon said this. So Rick, there's one more. What's the other? Buck Kicker. Gosh, I always forget Buck Kicker at the end. So shout out to all those sponsors there for putting on an amazing league. And we're getting down into it, Rick. We are in, I believe, this is going on race number 9 of this season, which we just had an off week last week, and then we have an off week here in about 2 weeks, and then we have, I believe, like a 10 to 12 week stint going from Irwindale to Gateway to Milwaukee Mile, even to Mid-Ohio to Watkins Glen. So it's going to be a fun little stretch there. But it looks like we are ready to grid up for tonight's Bluegrass 250.
We are. And as we showed on the tower earlier, Ryan Chapman is on the pole. You've got Dan Withers on the outside, Ryan Broderick behind the leader, David Courier on the outside, Alan Crowell on the inside, Justin Diltz, Lyle Mitchell, and Luke Bullard.
That is your starting 8 for tonight's Bluegrass 250. And, I mean, looking at this, you have a wide array of drivers here tonight. You have a couple elevated guys. You have a couple Southern guys, a couple independents. But a lot of different teams going on right now in this league. So we'll see how this plays out with a smaller field and how cautions are going to play out. Because, obviously, you have the 2 stage breaks at 40 and lap 80. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, should be interesting. We'll see again. It's this with this situation where you don't really have as many competitors. It's really going to be about fuel strategy and tire strategy, just to get around with as few incidents as possible. but to stay up front.
Yep, absolutely. You just read my mind, Rick. So going right into a couple of keys that you just mentioned, my 3 keys of the race are fairly simple. Take care of your tires is number 1. GFS, good fuel strategy. Make sure you pay attention to your fuel strategy because I think that's going to play a major role, as well as your long run speed, especially since all of these cars are going to be spread out here tonight in the Bluegrass 250 with only 8 drivers. It's going to be a wide open track. You're going to have a lot of just single file action once the field starts to get settled out. But we'll see what can happen here as these cars start rolling off the grid. And there's that number 7 of Chapman leading the field. Let's see if just like Justin Allgaier this past weekend at New Hampshire, see if he can put that number 7 in victory lane. Then behind him, you have the 67 of Dan Withers looking to have a good run tonight. And you have the 16 car of Broderick. Looks like a very familiar paint scheme. That's because that is AJ Allmendinger's paint scheme right there in the number 16 Action Camaro. Up on that high side, you have Courier, followed by Kroll there, and the other bright blue and purple car. And then you have Justin Diltz, Mitchell, and Bullard, which I actually do not see on the track at the moment.
Yeah, I don't see Luke.
Yeah, don't see either of them. Maybe they're starting in the pits. Not sure, but we have our top 6 right there, and pace car is about to make its way down pit road for tonight's Bluegrass 250, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network, showing you the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. We had a blinker there for a second.
That was Dan Withers.
Yep, we're about to enter the restart zone, and we are green flag racing at Kentucky.
All right, our first of 167 planned laps. And already there's been a little bit of movement through the field.
And there's a challenge for the lead. Broderick going to go to the inside of Chapman going into turn 3. Let's see if this can stick. You know, they are on cold tires, so pushing those tires a little much early. There it is. It's going to be a little bit slick on these cold tires there. So leading lap 1 is Ryan Broderick.
We saw the 7 get a little sideways on those cold tires as we tried to fend off that challenge, but it's like discretion was the better part of valor there, and he's basically just reeled himself in.
Yep, I agree. That was a smarter decision by the number 7 just to let himself get right behind the number 16 and just kind of ride, because there is a long way to go, and it's too early to make any drastic moves here early on. So after lap 1, your leader, Ryan Broderick, in that number 16 Camaro, followed by Ryan Chapman in P2, Dan Withers in P3. In P4, you have Justin Diltz, Couriers in P5, and Carl there is in P6. That is your drivers for tonight's Bluegrass 250. Here comes a run from the 7 car. Oh, 16 shut the door. And this is also the beautiful thing about Kentucky. You can run multiple lines. You can run the middle to high. You can run the low to middle. You can run low, middle, or high. So it really opens up the drivers to run the race that they want to run.
16 was a little loose on that coming out of 1 and 2. I think you're exactly correct. This is such a wide track. You've really got to figure out what your line is that preserves your tires and provides you with the best way to get around this track. I mean, you could ride all day and come back through the low line of 1 and 2, but by about lap 15, you're going to be in big trouble tire-wise.
Yeah, you are, because gradually you are going to slide up the track, and you can even see that in the groove a little bit. You can tell right there that the black part of the track isn't all the way down on that white, or that yellow line rather. So you can tell that the line is moving up. There goes the number 7 machine up to the high side. 16 hit a bump there, got a little bit loose. So yeah, there's multiple different grooves you can run, but that low line is going to be eating up those tires, and you can see 16 is just cranking on the wheel right now, trying to get that car to not go around. And while that's happening, Rick, we have a flock of 4 drivers approaching these leaders, and we may have a 5-way battle here for the lead, as you have Courier going to the inside of the Dilts machine, and he's now going to go to the outside of Dan Withers there for P3. Dan Withers protects the bottom line. Dan Withers slides up a little bit, gets the 19 out of shape.
These drivers are all hanging together. This is a great battle here amongst these drivers.
Yeah, but look at the speed out of that number 03 machine. He is able to carry his corners very well on that high side, and we expect him to have a great run coming off the corner as those drivers continue to battle for second and third. That is Chapman and Courier there.
That was an interesting move with the 16. It moved up to block the high line and then came back down.
Yeah, interesting move out of this, out of that 16 there. So we'll see what happens. But you can see that 03 car looks to be able to rotate his center very well compared to the 16, who looks a little bit tighter right now on the track. Here comes the 7 again, fighting down on the bottom side. Got that run, and we'll see how these drivers face. But this is exactly what the 16 of Broderick wants to see. He wants to see these guys battling, because the more they battle, the further his lead is going to extend.
Well, the 03 has moved past the 7. That's the number 7 car of Ryan Chapman. The 03 with this David Courier has now moved into a solid P2 position.
And here comes the 7 again, battling on the inside, coming into turn 3 and turn 4. And you can see the multiple different grooves taking into effect. And there goes the 19 to the bottom side of Dan Withers as well. So multiple battles going on right now on the track between second and third and fourth and fifth.
The 03 stays committed to those mid to high lines, while the 7 continues to dip down and try and get a run on the 03 for P2.
Yeah, and I think that's going to kind of cost the 7 a little bit of time on the long run, because we have maybe a car on the wall, maybe Justin Dilts, maybe not. It just looked like he was really high on the track there. Not sure, but it looks like he was okay. He is going to fight for that P4. Whoa, he is all the way up in that high line, Rick.
Yes, I don't see any damage, but certainly it's a little, he's definitely flirting with the safer barrier.
Yeah, it's not a place you want to flirt with, or not a thing you want to flirt with, because these walls will pretty much just grab you in and hold you once you hit that in. So looking on the YouTube chat, says, let's go Broderick from Turn 2 Terribles. So there you go. Mr. Broderick, you have a fan out there. So shout out to him. And it looks like we now have close to a 3-way battle for the lead right now, with the 7 still fighting with that 03 car for P2. But the 16 is under pressure from the high side and the low side. There's the 03 going to the high line, way high, as the 7's going to get a run. Coming out of turn 4, the 16 slides up. 7 looking to take the lead.
7 uses the apron to his advantage and tries to get a move on the 16 of Broderick.
Yes, he does. But he's going to slide up, maybe? Oh, 16 had to come out of the gas. 16 got a little loose on corner exit there, and here comes the 03. Looking at that middle, thinks twice going to the 3.
7 has made a run for the lead. Looks like he has moved out front.
Yes, he has. So, my bad. That is, Ryan Chapman, rather.
Yep.
I would say Ryan Broderick. Ryan Chapman back to the lead here with 14 out of 167 completed. Almost a little bit of contact between the 16 and the 03 there. They almost just kind of met. No contact was made, but it's very, very close racing between those two cars right there, P2 and P3. But as you said it, Rick, Ryan Chapman is back in the lead.
So the 07 of Chapman out front, followed by David Courier in the 03, and Ryan Broderick is now P3 in the number 16. Chapman's moved out to a significant gap, nearly a full second over second place Courier in the 03.
Yeah, he's been putting on a clinic ever since he got around those two drivers there, opening his lead to now close to a second, which is what I was thinking. You got to see what these cars can do about 15 laps into a run, and you were spot on there, Rick. They are just now on lap 15, going on 16. So we are going to see what these cars can do now, since they're all spread out, since these tires are going to play a major factor, and we're going to see how well the long run strategy is going to play, since we are now a tenth of the way done in the Bluegrass 250, brought to you by Speed Demon, Affordable SEO, Butt Kicker, York Realty, and Elevated Outdoors.
All right, they're coming up. That is the lap 17 of 167. Our first stage is at 40. I imagine that these guys are going to be, I don't know what the fuel mileage is or the ability to run up to 40 laps. I'm guessing that would make sense, but we'll have to see how it all plays out. All right, you're looking at the 03 of David Courier. He is currently in P2. Behind David is the 16 of Ryan Broderick.
Yeah, he's falling back pretty quick, Rick. He had a great first 14 laps, and then it seems like the car is just stalling out. So he may be better on that long run, as we now see some cloud cover rolling in on the track. We'll see what happens, as he's going to get passed by the 19 machine of Justin Diltz out of Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania, Elevated Motorsports driver there. And right behind him is the other Elevated Motorsports driver of Alan Crowell. So the 16 looks to be fading early.
Well, you know, again, these are open setups, so it's really just what they have been able to put together.
And Rick, I think you just caught the 9 hit the wall. The 9 just tagged the wall there out of 2, because now he has right side damage on that Chevrolet. Hopefully that doesn't affect it too much. It shouldn't. But he is looking to move himself into P4.
He sure is.
Whoa, a little bit of a little close racing there going into the corner. I know when you're going through a tri-oval on a track, it's always one of the scarier parts, because your car, the momentum is moving up towards that outside wall. Oh, he tagged the wall again. Your momentum is moving up towards that outside wall, and you don't know how close that driver is to the outside of you to that wall, so you got to be very careful. But yeah, we're looking on right now at the 16 of Ryan Broderick there.
Jump back. That's the 67 of Dan Withers. He's currently bringing up the tail end of the field right now. Dan's got a little bit of right side damage, as you can see there. Maybe a little bit of kiss with that safer barrier. That is not helpful to the aero on these cars for sure.
No, it's not. But you know, the thing about this is even if he does, you know, I don't think he will, but even if he does go a lap down, Rick, there's only 6 cars, so it's not like he can't make those laps back up. So anybody is in contention for this race, especially if we have a late race caution, which you never know. Somebody may have a spin coming out of a corner, somebody may miss pit road, slide through the infield, go back on the track. You never know what's going to happen, so you can't count anybody out in a field like this. But right now, Ryan Chapman is checking out from the field. He is all the way out to almost a 3-second gap now on the rest of the field. Looking on the screen right there, you can see the track map of where everybody is on the track. So in the green, you have Chapman there, and then you have the 03, 19, 9, and 16, and then the 67 just crossing the line.
Oh no, just under a half a lap behind. All right, so it's 145 laps to go. We're still about 17 laps away from our first stage break at lap 40. Got Ryan Chapman in the lead. He was really doing well. followed by Courier, Diltz, Crowell, Broderick, and Withers. That gap is extensive now. He's moved out to nearly a 4-second gap over second place. We'll drop back to see how Courier is making it around. And then we've got behind Courier, third and fourth of Diltz and Crowell, running slightly different lines.
And that's the beauty of Kentucky. You can run multiple lines at any point in the race. You know, if you want to go a little bit higher on the high line, save some tires, conserve for the long run, which I think everybody should do, you're able to do that. Or if you want to be aggressive, go ahead, run that bottom line.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing those different strategies here. And, you know, at this early stage with only 26 laps in the book, you're really using this to figure out just how are my tires going to do? Can I save some tire wear and more importantly, reduce my tire temperature by changing my line and my approach in my corner entry and corner exit?
Absolutely.
Well, we can try to go on board with Alan Crowell and watch how Alan gets around the track. We'll take a...
Absolutely. Let's go ahead.
Alan is battling the 19 of Justin Diltz for third.
See, he's still using that inside line to try to get a run, and it looks like it's working for that number 9 car. You see the 19 get a little bit of a run off the corner, but still being able to run that bottom line is an advantage here if you are able to do it. And looking on board right now, it looks like Dan Withers has made his way down pit road. But yeah, so here he goes, still hanging into that low to middle line for number 9. Look at that run he just gets off the corner compared though to the 19. That's the big differentiator there on corner exit. We'll see if he's able to get a similar run coming out of 3 and 4, but I think the 19 may be just slightly better in 3 and 4 than the 9 is right now.
Well, you can, just by watching that line, you can see that the 9 car backs up his corner entry. He gets out of it a little bit sooner than the 19.
There he's taking the high side now. See if he's able to do anything with that. Yeah, that 19 just seems to be struggling a little bit there in 1 and 2, and the 9 seems to be struggling there in 3 and 4. So we'll see if he can adjust his line, maybe try to figure something out here. And that's what you got to do. Figure something out early on so you can use that and leverage that later in the race.
Well, we can go on board with Justin Diltz since we've been watching him from the rear. We'll see how his entries is and how aggressive he is getting around the track.
Very smooth line there by Justin. Not much wheel movement, which is great to see. Holding it pretty steady. That's awesome. Not sliding it right there. Yeah, doing a great job of just holding that wheel pretty steady. So that's what you got to do. You don't want to have too much wheel movement. You know, waste more tire than you already are, because on 31 lap old tires, those things are not too happy with you. And he's doing a good job of holding on to that machine. But that looks like that 9 is right on the bumper of the 19 machine there, coming out of 2. It maybe it's a little bit closer than I thought it was in the mirror. So just looking back, it looked pretty close. But it looks like they're able to keep their distance with 8 laps until the stage break.
All right. We'll jump up to our leader, Ryan Chapman, and he has moved out to nearly an 8-second lead over the second place 03 of Courier. We'll bring up our track map just to kind of give you a feel for that, just what that difference represents. So that 8 seconds between between first and second is literally 1/4 of the way around this track.
Yeah, Chapman is on rails right now. Pulling out to an 8-second gap is just phenomenal. He is completely taken the field by storm. If this pace continues in stage 3, you may see the entire field get lapped, which would be crazy to see. But with a small field, it possibly could be done. But you typically don't see that at mile-and-a-half tracks. You typically see that at a Bristol or a Martinsville or a Richmond. You don't see drivers pull out to as big of a gap as Chapman has.
Well, unfortunately, we've seen another retiree. Dan Withers is out. So we're down to 5 competitors on the track.
Well, Dan will get a top 6 out of this, so points are points. So, maybe a silver lining to that. But we are now approaching lap 35 of 167 here in the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. This is John and Rick from the IWM Broadcast Network. If you're enjoying what you're watching tonight, I know it's a little bit of a smaller field, but tune in with us every Tuesday night for the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series, and tune in tomorrow night for our season finale in the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Cup Series. It's going to be a fun finale, and it's our inaugural season over there. It's going to be fun to see if who can bring home the inaugural iRacing Warriors Motorsports Championship.
All right, we're at lap 36 of our scheduled 40 in this first stage. Chapman has moved out to a nearly 9-second lead over second place David Courier. We'll pop back to what you've got there is Courier, Dilts, and Crowell, all about a second between each one of them. They're all battling, looking to try and catch back up to Chapman, who continues to stretch this out.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of staying consistent, keeping his tires clean, and putting on a great run here early on in the Bluegrass 250 at Kentucky.
Yeah, and you're on board with your leader, Chapman, as he crosses the line for the end of lap 38 and the start of lap 39. His lead is now nearly 10 seconds. And he is still going after it aggressively. He's not laying back or backing off. He's pushing on hard. He's running his line.
Why not? You have nothing to lose. You're 10 seconds ahead of the field. Try not and see what your car can do if you have to put it in a situation where you need to be aggressive. So here they come. Pit road has closed. They are coming to lap 40. We are coming to the end of the stage very soon here. And your winner for Stage 1, of course, is going to be Ryan Chapman. He's 10 seconds ahead unless catastrophe strikes once he completes this lap.
So all these guys have run this first 40 laps on this first set of tires. There you go. Caution down.
Stage. Ryan Chapman, your Stage 1 winner here tonight in the Bluegrass 250. So Rick, what do you think we learned from Stage 1 here tonight? Staying out front matters. Tire strategy. What is your takeaway from the first stage here?
from what I have been able to glean out of this, it seems to me that you don't run down at the line through 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got to pick a middle lane. I think what we saw with Chapman, he is very knowledgeable on his point of entry into these corners. You see him apex the outbound turn of 2 and 4, and he's off and he's running. All right, looks like the field is forming up behind the pace truck, and we'll stay with Ryan Chapman as he leads this field of 5 drivers onto pit road.
Yes, he will. So we will see. Maybe somebody could give him a little bit of a run for his money and come out in front of him on pit road. But we'll see how they fare going down this pit road here at Kentucky.
Doing a good job of staying nose to tail and keeping that pit road speed up. Seven, the 3,
yep,
the 19.
Looks like they're gonna come out of pit road as they came down pit road. So
interestingly, you've got Ryan Broderick. The 16 is just getting off of pit road.
Yeah, I didn't see any damage, so it's very interesting to see that car still on pit road.
The 9 is still on pit road. He did have some damage, maybe using this opportunity to take care of that while he's in the pits. He's got nothing to lose when you look at and here he comes.
So, Rick, as we go into stage 2 here, my 3 keys are going to stay the same. You got to take care of your tires, and you got to be there on the long run. So this is going to be a little bit of a shorter stint than stage 2, but still, it'll still be a 30-plus lap segment, which we saw a lot of drivers fall off there at the end.
Yeah, they definitely dropped off significantly based on what their qualifying times were. I mean, we saw that 31:04 was that the time we saw that qualifying time that was put up?
I believe so. Yep, low 31s.
All right. I guess as the field is beginning to form back up, lights are still on the pace truck, so we'll see what.
We'll see what happens here.
This will go around one more time, and we'll be back to green flag racing. That means that put us 5 laps. Lights are off, so they'll be forming back up, and we'll go back to racing in just another lap.
Yes, we will. So I want to give this time to shout out all of the sponsors again for the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. Obviously, you have Speed Demon, the main sponsor here tonight. You have Butt Kicker as well. You have one of the newer sponsors, York Realty, Affordable SEO and Marketing, and then last but not least, you have Elevated Outdoors. And this is John and Rick from the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Broadcast Network, the IWM Broadcast Network. So we'll see what happens here tonight. Let's see if Chapman can maybe sweep the stages here and pull off a victory. And yes, Dave, there is a small field tonight there in the YouTube chat, and we're going to keep on bringing you live coverage of this Bluegrass 250 event with 123 laps to go.
We're coming up to turn 4. That pace truck will drop out in a second. And the cars will enter the Geico restart zone. At that point, the car in charge can go at any time.
Yes, they can. So pay attention to that white line on the track and the big blue Geico logos on the right-hand side of the white or the yellow line. Not that one. The smaller ones that are about to come up. That is the there they are. We are green flag racing here in the Bluegrass 250, stage 2.
Well, the 7 car took control, and just as soon as he entered that Geico restart zone, he was off.
He just took off like a rocket.
We're keeping our eye on the 16 of Broderick. Was jumped right back into P3, followed by the 03 of David Courier and the 9 of Alan Coral. Definitely a much different line that 16 is running than these other guys.
Yes, it is, and it tells. I mean, you're able to see just how different his car is able to handle versus the other car. He may just be using up his tires, which is my biggest concern here early on in this race. So we'll see how that affects him going into the further portion of the race as you're now looking on board at the 19 of Justin Biltz.
Yeah, you can tell these guys are dealing with fresh tires. Fresh tires means that the grip of those tires is not the same as a tire that's got some heat in it and it's run some laps. So they'd be really careful as they exit out of these corners.
Absolutely, you have to be. So that 16 is right on the back bumper of that number 7. He was pushing him pretty hard going into turn 3, but backed off. So we'll see how this 16 can hold on with the 7 really taking charge.
Well, you can see that delta between the 7 and the 16's around 0.4 of a second, and 3 tenths now.
And here goes Ryan Chapman. Lead starting to play into his favor again, just ever so slightly every lap. He's able to pull just a little bit further away from this field. As you see a car joining the track, I believe that is the 03 car there of Courier.
That's very interesting. I'm not sure what happened to David Courier.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It's kind of interesting that he is down there, 2 laps down. No true indication of why that is.
I mean, he went in and just spent a standard time on pit road. Well, about 30 seconds on pit road. So something happened.
Yeah, something definitely happened. Not really sure what it is, but he is now looking himself, trying to climb his way back into this race.
All right, that's lap 53 of 167. There's definitely a battle here with the 03 as he tries to get his lap back. One of two he's currently down.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Try to get that lap back, try to get back to where he's only 1 lap down. So when this next caution comes out for the stage break at lap 80, he can position himself to get back on the lead lap. So it's almost like a 2-for-1 kind of deal.
Well, Ryan Chapman is out to a significant lead already.
Not a surprise because of how well he's been running all race long, Rick.
I know. Justin Diltz is now our second place driver, followed by Alan Crowell, Ryan Broderick, and as we watch the 03 of David Courier try to make up some time. We're watching along with you as these drivers from the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series battling out here at Kentucky Speedway in the Bluegrass 250. I'm your host, Rick Souza, along with John Derudris here in the booth. And we thank you for joining us here as you're watching one of our streams on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We appreciate you joining along. And if you could click and like and follow, we'll keep you up to date on new races and new events that we're carrying on our IWM broadcast channel. We appreciate you staying and coming back each week.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun finale tomorrow night, July 20th, for the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Cup Series. It's going to be an awesome finale that we have going on there, so you do not want to miss that event.
All right, so our leader continues to be Ryan Chapman. He's got just over a 3-second lead over Justin Diltz in the 19 in P2 and Alan Kroll in the 9 in the third place position. You're also watching David Courier in the 03. David's a couple laps down. He's trying to work to get a lap back. And I think as you've illustrated earlier, if he can get a lap back and hold on to it, there's a stage break in 20 laps. He would actually get both laps back. But his challenge is he's got to get in front of the 07 of Ryan Chapman.
Yes, he does, and that's going to be his biggest obstacle right now, is getting in front of that leader, because the leader is putting on a clinic and checking out from the field. He's already up to almost a 4-second gap over Diltz, his teammate there. So it's going to be a hard battle, but the 03 is going to try to get to his bumper before the stage ends here in about 18 to 19 laps. Well, Rick, it was one of my keys, long run strategy will win this race, and that kind of looks like what it's going to be. It's going to be the long run strategy that is going to play a major role into who wins this race. So unless somebody makes some crazy adjustments, it's going to be hard for these drivers to compete with how good this 7 car is on the long run.
7 has been extremely consistent. We've watched his corner entries and exits. We've watched how he's approached the track. He is very consistent. All right, we're 62 laps in with just 18 laps, 17 laps till our stage break. It doesn't look like the 03 is going to make up that gap.
No, it doesn't.
We're just jumping back through the back of the field, just trying to see what's happening. And as you could imagine, we're a little stretched out. We've only got 5 cars on the track, and each driver is running their race.
Yes, they are.
Just to give you an idea as to where your driver is, it's a little stretched out. The 7 and the 3 are together, although the 3 is 2 laps down. The 9 and the 19, followed by the 16 as it takes up the rear. Really, the 03 is in the rear, but on the track, the 16 is there. We can try to ride along with the 03 of David Courier, just see how he's approaching this.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Well, let's see what that looks like. That bright yellow roll cage definitely screams out at you. He's letting off very early in the corners.
Yeah, well, you know, these tires, if you burned up a lot at the beginning, you're paying for it now.
Yes, you are.
And I think he really tried. Yeah, I think he really tried to catch up and get that lap back, but I think he burned up a lot of rubber trying to make that happen.
Yep, a little too late there for that number 03 machine. But so he will go 1 lap back, though.
Yeah, he will get his first lap back. So with 68 laps in the book at this point, there is just 12 laps to go before our stage break at 80. As we count down the 167 laps of this Bluegrass 250. Yeah, I think that in-car kind of told us what we wanted to see, that if you're the 03, you did everything you could to get back up there early in this run around lap 50, but here at lap nearly 70, there's not much left in those tires.
No, not at all. Especially with a very long run coming in stage 3. It's going to be interesting to see how these drivers can fend off. You know, it's not you know, we still have a little bit of time before the end of this stage, but it's not as big of a gap as it was. Now, it may end up closing to the same gap as it was between first and second, but it doesn't look to be too big of a gap. But it looks like, Rick, we may have a battle for second place going on right now between those 2 drivers right now. That's the closest battle we have on the track between Diltz and Crowell there.
Well, we'll try to keep our eye on this pair. It's the biggest, it's the only battle we have currently on the track. Of course, these drivers are on the same racing team, so I'm sure they're just working together as they get closer to the end of this stage.
Absolutely they are. comes the 9. See if he may be able to make a move on his teammate there, the 19. Looks like he may be getting closer every single lap, but then not really fair. You know, they have success in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. One's better in 1 and 2, the other's better in 3 and 4. So they're just kind of, you know, teeter-tottering back and forth between who has the momentum and who doesn't. But we are 7 laps away, going on 6 laps away from the end of stage 2.
So yet the 9 car of Coral has about 3/10 to make up before he can overtake his teammate on the 19. Well, Ryan Chapman has nearly a 9-second gap over second place Justin Diltz. We'll jump back up with the 03 of Courier, see if he's made any progress, and it does not look like he's gaining anything on the car, on the 7 car. Looks like he's mainly just hanging back at this point. I tell you, from that roof cam, you could almost hear him sliding around a bit as he went into turn 3.
Absolutely, you can. And that's what's going to happen as these tires get old. You're going to be slipping and sliding around the track like no other. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this very long run of Stage 3 is going to fare against these Grand National cars.
We are 4 laps away from our break at 80. And that will put us nearly at the halfway point. The 87 laps. By the time we go back to green, we'll be nearly at the halfway point. All right, we're just a couple laps left. Ryan Chapman has moved back into double digits of his lead over second place of Justin Diltz.
Yes, he has. So I stand corrected. He was able to push it to double digits. So, you know, thinking about this on the second part of the run, you know, he may be getting close to lapping some of these cars by the end of stage 3. So as long as everything holds true for that 7 car, it's looking pretty darn good, as he is now going to go on lap 79. He is now really 2 laps away, or a lap and a half away, from getting a Stage 2 victory here in the Bluegrass 250.
Absolutely. So with that coming here, with 1 lap to go, it's going to be interesting. With if we take some, just assume that, and I don't know how much fuel is in the tanks. Maybe what we'll do is try to see if we can dial up Ryan Chapman during the caution and see if we can grab a word with him under caution.
Absolutely. Sounds like a good plan. So at the end of this lap will be the end of stage 2. Number 7 putting on a clinic here tonight, leading the race for the majority of the race. Won stage 1, has led every lap of stage 2. He will become your stage 2 winner in the Bluegrass 250.
Yeah, competition caution is now flown at the end of stage 2, and as John indicated, Ryan Chapman is your winner of stage 2, with Justin Diltz in third, Alan Crowell in third, Justin Diltz was in second, and Ryan Broderick is in P4. We'll let Ryan get through his pit stop. We'll try to dial him back up at the end of his pit stop. Because I'm dying to find out what the mileage is on these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to figure it out because that'll help us in for stage 3 to figure out exactly when they are going to be able to pit. So here comes the 7. The field is about to catch him here in a few seconds, as the 03 is going to get 1 lap back here tonight. So he's looking for 1 more caution. There comes the 7 and the rest of the field down. Going 45 miles an hour down this very long pit road.
Great stop by the 7. Taking tires and fuel.
And he's off.
Hey Ryan, can you hear us? This is Rick Souza at the broadcast booth.
Rick, how you doing, guys?
We're good. Glad you have a chance to talk with us during this caution. What are you seeing for your miles here? How long can you go on a full tank?
It's looking like 56 laps we can go.
Gotcha. So there will be green flag stops here in stage 3 apparently.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, that'll be an interesting thing to see because we haven't had any other caution other than the stage breaks, and a green flag stop will definitely throw a little bit of a mix into the race. But you're doing a great job out there, winning stage 1 and stage 2, able to pull away from the field. So give us a little bit of thoughts on your race so far.
Man, the car's feeling great. It's doing what I want. I had to make an adjustment after stage 1 because it was getting too tight on the long run. But other than that, man, we're just pulling ahead, and as long as I can keep that ticker from going up, then I'm happy. So we'll keep running here. This green flag stops are gonna put some fun in hands because you might see some people spin out, but we'll see what happens, guys.
All right. Well, thank you again, and good luck. Hope to talk to you at the end.
Thank you, fellas. Yes, sir.
Got it. All right, that's your race leader, Ryan Chapman. Let me move him back to his right channel. And there you have it. So we are currently on lap 84 of a scheduled 167. That was our second competition caution at the end of stage 2. You heard from your current leader, Ryan Chapman, and talking about around 50 plus, 55, 56 laps per fuel tank. So we'll definitely be setting up for at least one more pit stop if it stays green.
Yeah, and if I'm making that estimation correctly, Rick, I think we're going to see pit stops anywhere between lap 139 to 141. So you'll have about 27 laps left, or 26 laps if you pit on lap 141 to the end of the race. So if you want to split that up on a full fuel run. So right now, your top drivers on the board, you have Ryan Chapman in first, Alan Corwell in second, Roderick in third, Courier is still on pit road, and Diltz is on pit road as well. Actually, no, Courier's on the pit road. Courier's on the track. Diltz is on pit road. And Zach, yep, let's go Chapman. And Diane Chapman, absolutely. She says, let's go Chapman. Let's go Ryan as well. So 2 Ryan Chapman fans here in the chat on YouTube. as well as that one Ryan Broderick fan. So, yep, your guy, Mr. Chapman's been doing a great job. So we'll see what happens as we are now approaching the start of Stage 3. I do not see Justin Diltz on the track.
He's coming. Looks like he is coming out now, but he will be at least 2 laps down.
Interesting for the Justin Diltz machine there. He was battling that number 9 machine of Kroll there for the P1, but here we go. About to get green flag racing again here in the Bluegrass 250 and the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. Green flag racing here again at Kentucky.
All right, we are back to green here, and the 7 car is holding his with a 16 is making a huge run. Oh.
Yeah, 16's gonna say, hey man, remember me? Yeah, you took the lead from you. So 16 is now going to take the top position. But don't look too far now. 7's gonna make a crossover coming out of turn 3 and 4. Who's gonna lead this lap? It's gonna be Ryan Broderick back to the point.
We'll stay with this. We do have a replay, I think. We'll have to go back and take a peek. Something may happen to Justin Diltz. He's back in the pits. Let's see if we can bring something back up if I could. That's not a very good shot of what happened to Justin. Something happened there. We're not quite sure what, whether that was an engine issue or...
Not really sure.
Yep, he just
Kinda
parked it.
stopped and
Parked it and towed, yeah, so.
But the battle for the lead is on between the 2 Ryans and the 16 and the 7, Broderick and Chapman. And Broderick is still taking the lead from the number 7.
Well, we've seen this before. We'll keep an eye on the Ryan and Ryan show. '16 has a little bit of right side damage, but that's not going to affect him in this track.
No, but what will affect him is the tightness of that car. And his car looks to be a little bit tighter than the 7 machine. So we'll see how that plays out a little bit later in this race tonight, see if that affects him at all as of late. But right now, he shuts the door on the 7 car and takes away his line, which with 77 to go, they will have to make another stop. So we'll see how long this 16 can stay out front, because we know that 7 car is fast. And here comes the 7 on the bottom side. 16 gets a little bit loose out of the corner. They are going to be side-by-side racing, going down the front stretch. 7 is inching forward, going into turn 1. 7 slides up the track, completely misses the entry of that corner. Now 15 slides up the track a little bit, and 16 regains the lead.
A tight battle here for the lead here on lap 91 between Ryan Broderick and Ryan Chapman. This certainly plays well for the 3rd place of Alan Crowell. He is, I think, making his way back up. At least he's staying up there with the leaders.
Yes, he is, and that's important right now. And so it looks like, interestingly enough, that 7 car kind of backed off a little bit from that 16 machine. So we'll see if Ryan Chapman there's like, you know, I was kind of saying, and see what kind of car he has. But I really, if I was any driver here, I would want to have fresh air on the nose of this car, simply because fresh air is the best kind of air in the racetrack. You don't want dirty air. But as I say that, here comes the 7 fighting back on the inside. 16 shuts the door. 16 is using up his tires just a little bit, so we'll see if the same thing happened in stage 1 happens again here in stage 3. But here comes the 7 again on the bottom side of the track. He's going to have a run, a massive run, coming out of turn 3 and 4 almost get collected. And the 7 completes the pass on the 16. Your new leader here tonight, Ryan Chapman there.
Your new leader as for this stage, but he's been your leader for a good bit of the race so far, but kind of expected that to happen, just as you had indicated earlier, watching that 16, the line, and a little bit of how his entry and exit was. You could see he was aggressively using that car to jump ahead of the 7, and unfortunately that 7 continues to run the same methodical approach to this track.
Yep, that's what it takes to win races. You have to have consistency in the corners, in every move you make, because that is how you can build a rhythm, and that's how you can win races, consistency and rhythm, and we're seeing that out of the number 7 machine here tonight.
All right, well, he continues to expand that lead over the 16. Really, I think our next battle that's shaping up is going to be the 16 and the 9. That 03 is still in the mix. I'm sure he's hoping that he could get that other lap back. It the opportunity hasn't presented himself yet with that. If he needs another caution to come out to get him back on the lead lap.
Absolutely, he does. But you know, it's you never know. You never know what may happen. You may have a freak caution where the 03 passes the leader and the caution comes out, and there you go. You're back on the lead lap. But as of right now, your top 3 drivers, Chapman, Broderick, and Kroll, they're all separated by about 3 seconds here with exactly 70 laps to go in the Bluegrass 250.
Again, thank you for joining us here on the IWM Broadcast Network. You are watching the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. And this is the event at the Bluegrass 250 at Kentucky.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to smash that subscribe button and that thumbs up to give us a good rating here. And there comes the 03 on pit road. But make sure to do that because we will get shown to more race fans and more fans of iRacing here on YouTube. And also YouTube likes that. So give us a subscribe. We would love to have you join the IWM Broadcast Network as a fan and a subscriber. So thank you to you for watching here tonight in a small field. But as I mentioned before, tomorrow night's going to be a very exciting season for the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Cup Series drivers. It's going to be a star-studded event, and it's going to be a fun one to watch as we end our series there, because that is the iRacing Warriors Motorsports. We are the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Broadcast Network, so that is our league. But stay tuned every Tuesday night for the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. We are hitting some very fun tracks coming up pretty soon. Obviously, tonight we're at Kentucky. Next week we'll be at Dover Motor Speedway. The following week we are going to be at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park before we have a off week, and then we hit a very long 10 to 12 week stint going to Irwindale, Gateway, Milwaukee Mile, Nashville, Hickory Motor Speedway. You have Lucas Oil Raceway, Iowa, Mid-Ohio, Michigan, New Hampshire, the Glen, Chicagoland, and then finishing up that long stint is Richmond there. So we have a lot of fun racing coming from this NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series.
All right, we're jumping back on the track and just kind of running our way through the field. The 03 car is still in the pits. Ryan Chapman continues to show us the way. Alan Crowell has moved into second place. And Ryan Broderick in the 16 is currently in third. Whatever happened to Justin Diltz has caused Justin to retire. So we are down to 4 racers today, and David Courier is still in the pits for an extended maybe repair session. All right, that's 104 laps completed, 64 to go here at Kentucky Speedway with the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. Ryan Chapman is certainly in control. He's got a nearly 5-second lead over his second place of Alan Crowell. And Ryan Broderick is currently approximately 8 seconds back. As you can imagine, that spreads this field out pretty good. And at this point, you as a driver, if you're in this event, you're no longer worried about competition. It's really just about getting around, doing the best you can, watching your time, and seeing if you can continuously find ways to improve that. Since you're not battling door to door with somebody, you're really battling the clock. And so each time around, you're looking again at ways to improve a line, take a different track as you go around this track, and see if you can make up a 10th here or a 10th there, and use that way of getting back in and trying to better your position. Now, based on what we do know, at some point in the next 30 or 40 laps, these drivers, maybe not 30 or 40, but certainly around 30, these drivers will be back onto pit road with what we anticipate to be a green flag pit stop, and frankly, that may change the complexion of this race. We'll just have to see.
Yes, we will, as Chapman is now pulling out close to a 6-second gap on his teammate there in P2. But yeah, you said it, Rick. This is a good time to work on fundamentals, focus on the car, and just learn and take mental notes, because you never know what happens. Somebody may wreck, somebody may spin out. You never know. But for these drivers out here, just trying to improve on some fundamentals, because everybody out here will finish in a top 5. So it's one of those races where just try to improve yourself to move on to next week, when we go to a very, very fun track in Dover, which you have to be on top of it at all times, because if you're not, turn 2 is a wild one. Same thing with turn 4 there, with the elevation changes in Dover there. So we'll see how these drivers play out next week, as we are now under 60 laps to go in tonight's event.
So, John, these cars here, when you do get a pit stop, you can make adjustments. What adjustments can you make in this Grand National, this Xfinity car here on pit road?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend on how your car is running. I mean, you're not going to have too long of a run, but you could always change your tire pressure. You can change some other things, such as I believe you can change some wedge. You can change how the front downforce is on the car versus the rear. You can even adjust, even depending on how your car handles through the corner. You could adjust some brake bias for a longer run, but I don't think we'll need to adjust anything like that. I think some of the major adjustments that will take place, it may not work, because it's not like we have a very long run after this next round of pit stops. So I would say set up your car for the long run, but since we're not going to have one, I would say try to set your car up for a medium run. Maybe change some tire pressures to where your car will be balanced in a different way, and maybe roll through the center of the corner a little bit better. Try to maybe loosen it up a little bit, so you will be a little bit better on the mid to long run. But right now, if I was Ryan Chapman, I would not change a thing. If I was Alan Kroll there, I would try to figure out a way to get better in turn 1 and turn 2. And if I was Broderick, I'd do the reverse. He seems to struggle in 3 and 4 there on exit. So I would kind of play it that way. If I'm trying to remember correctly in these cars, you definitely need to change the had a bit of a blinking issue there out of the 7 machine, but you need to change, I believe it's the right rear, increase that tire pressure to get a little bit of a tighter feel on the car. It's been a second since I raced in these Xfinity cars, but they're fun to drive, and I would try to master 1, if not 2 of these corners if you can on this long run, and maybe set yourself up and take a swing. Why not? You're gonna finish first, second, or third. So I mean, obviously, if I was Chapman, I wouldn't change a thing. But why not swing for the fences? See if you're able to set up your car to where on a 15 to 20 lap run, your car starts coming in and you're able to make up some time. Because if you're able to make up, a tenth here, a tenth there in each corner, or maybe even half a tenth each lap, you could catch the driver in front of you. So it's not over yet for these drivers out here. But yeah, a lot of things you can change on these Xfinity/Grand National Series automobiles.
So what we've learned right now, these drivers have gone in at lap 82. Lap 82, there was a few laps there, obviously under caution post that pit stop, but still, you've got 35 laps or so on these tires.
Yes, you do. And another thing you can change is actually the tape on these Xfinity cars. That is something that is allowed. Same thing in the trucks, but you are not allowed to change tape on the next-gen cars. So that's a new this year for those next-gen automobiles. But here in the Xfinity Series, it's all fair game. So, change some tape, rather, I was going to say wedge. Change some tape. Maybe your car runs a little bit hotter, but you may be able to go a little bit faster down the straights, which may help you out if you're sacrificing some speed there in the corners. So we'll see what happens. It looks like Ryan Broderick is making his way down pit road 50 laps away from the end of this race. So he is playing the long run right now. And we'll see what this 16 car can do on pit road. He is in. Right sides should be going on. There they go. Here come the left sides. And he is off. So we'll see what happens now. He will be gaining on that leader. So he has now set the bar for when people come down pit road. So leader is now about to enter 1, and he is about to exit 2. So we will see. Obviously, there's going to be about a 2-second difference in lap times between these drivers. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to possibly put him out front at the end of this race. So he's playing off strategy here versus Ryan Chapman and his teammate there, Alan Kroll.
Well, that does put him with 50 laps to go on this set of tires and fuel. So obviously he's got enough fuel to make it around. Everybody has to stop once.
Yep. Yes, they do. He's cranking that wheel in there, Rick. That car seems to just be really loose, but he is not running the bottom line as much as I thought he would run. But here is his in-car camera. He is now passing the start-finish line.
He is definitely aggressively going after that lower line to try and make up some time.
So his last lap was a 32.3. The leader's last lap was a 33.4. Here he comes up at turn 4. That time around was a 32.6.
And the last time with the leader was a 33.5.
So I thought they would be able to run in the 31s here. But my bad, that was just Ryan Chapman there. Ryan Broderick's fastest time was a 32.2 in qual and a 32.1 in practice. But here comes Alan Kroll down pit road, Chapman's teammate. So this is going to play a little bit into the hands of these two drivers, but also that means that Chapman now controls his own destiny. He can stay out for as long as he wants to. He can come down pit road. He can do whatever he wants to do because both of those cars, second and third, are both more than likely going to be a lap down. So Chapman's going to have a little bit of advantage here. Comes the 9 off of pit road.
That was pretty much a 15:10 pit stop, which was exactly the same time of Ryan Broderick. They both put in a 15:10 pit stop.
Ryan Broderick that last time ran a 32.3. Ryan Chapman ran a 33.7. So there's the time. It's starting to show between these cars. We'll see what happens to the line this time. Ryan Broderick ran a 32.3 again. Ryan Chapman is making his way to the start-finish line this time by 44 laps to go in the Bluegrass 250. He runs a 33.5. So ever so slightly, that number 10 machine
16.
rather. 16, wow. Number 16 machine of Ryan Broderick there is gaining on the leader. So he will possibly come out in front of that number 7 machine. But on the long run, Rick, I think that 7 is just way too good.
Well, you know what's going to happen here, right? It's the push me, pull you effect. So Ryan Chapman is out there running on old tires from lap 82, nearly 45 laps ago. Ryan Broderick is running in P2. He's a lap down, but he is chasing Ryan Chapman, and he is making up about a second per lap. However, once Ryan Chapman goes in and gets fresh rubber, he'll be able to now catch up to Ryan Broderick at nearly 1 second per lap. So
yeah,
really,
it's just a matter of, yep.
Yeah, Ryan Chapman needs to find the right time to go in. Clearly, the guys behind him have already made their strategy, pitting on lap 20 and lap 120 and 115 respectively. So,
yeah, you know, I mean, if I was Chapman,
I wouldn't wait that much longer to go in.
Yeah, I would want to come in just a little bit. I mean, you could wait to see. There he has disappeared on the track.
He just blinked.
He is gone. Your leader. Oh, no.
He's back.
He is back, but I wonder if that's going to put him a lap down or anything, because sometimes when you blink for that long, iRacing does not know how to kind of bring you back onto the surface. But we are now approaching 40 laps to go here. Alan Kroll's last time by was a 32.5. Last time by for Ryan Broderick, a 32.7. This time by for Ryan Chapman is going to be a 33.7. Ryan Chapman is still scored as your leader. So yeah, Rick, I mean, it's just a matter of time before this 7 machine comes down pit road. But he is still losing a decent amount of time to that Broderick machine.
Yeah, and it's 1 second per lap.
You know, and this, you know, I kind of like this strategy by Broderick because it forces, it's kind of playing into Broderick's favor in one aspect. It's going to force Chapman to run pretty hard. If he runs this to about lap 139 to 141, it's going to force Chapman to pass him 100%.
Well, I mean, currently Ryan Broderick is 49.5 seconds behind. So it's a lap and a half. At least that's how the scoring tower shows that today.
Right, well, we'll see, because the last time by, Ryan Broderick, a 32.9. Ryan Chapman a 33.5. So those lap times are starting to creep back up a little bit there for the number 16 machine of Ryan Broderick. So if you're watching right now, you're watching NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series brought to you by Speed Demon Setups, Affordable SEO and Marketing. We have a blinking car again of Chapman. You have York Realty. You have Butt Kicker and Elevated Outdoors. And we would love for you to give us a like on the video and subscribe, because we're a group of iRacing and racing enthusiasts here in the IWM Broadcast Network, and we would love to grow this community of racing lovers and sim racing fans. This is John and Rick from the IWM Broadcast Network, and make sure to tune in every Tuesday night. This is a small field tonight, but don't fret. We have a lot of exciting action coming up tomorrow night in the IWM season finale in the Cup Series, as well as the Grand National Series here in the NSRL, going on every Tuesday night, pretty much until about September. So a lot of fun racing coming from this league, even with the small field tonight. But Rick, it looks like these lap times are really starting to even out quite a bit. Ryan Broderick at 33.2 now. Ryan Chapman a 33.6. Alan Kroll a 32.6.
Yeah, so that advantage is gone.
Coming.
That's the speed advantage is gone. That's over. And now it's going to come down to just that delta that is between this. Well, and here we go.
Yep, here is your leader down pit road. And you have the 16 machine of Ryan Broderick making his way into turn 3 and turn 4 right now. But don't look too far back, Rick. That number 9 of Alan Kroll is on the tail of that 16 machine. So here they go, just past the start-finish line. They are about to get their lap back, and they do have their lap back. Ryan Chapman just made his way into his pit stall.
We'll jump back here and keep an eye on our leader with our pit cameras.
He is off pit road. Here comes Chapman. And Rick, those other two drivers are closing in quick, but I don't think they're going to be able to get around. As they come off of turn 2, it's going to be a dogfight, because here comes Broderick and Kroll there.
Well, he certainly did it. They've got their laps back, and they're about a second, 2 seconds back. However, Ryan Chapman has a fresh car. He's got brand new tires, a full tank of fuel, and 34 laps to go.
Yep, he is. He's definitely in the best position on the track right now to take home this victory, unless something mechanically goes wrong, he blows up, or he decides to quit. I don't think he's going to lose this race because he has, 30 lap fresher tires than the rest of the field. 20, 30 lap fresher tires.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be running insanely fast lap times. You can already see the gap he's pulled out on these guys. So Ryan Chapman is back to the points, followed by Ryan Broderick and Alan Kroll there in P2 and P3.
Yeah, his last lap was a 32.43 over Ryan Broderick's 33.56, so over 1.1 seconds per lap. Now that he's back out, and that's only got a lap or two. Once those tires season in, he's got a grace period of at least 10 laps where he can run out over a second plus faster than that second and third place position.
Oh yeah, he can do anything he wants. He can run this race really any way he wants to serve. It doesn't really matter at this point, because he's able to just run his race and pull away. So with just about 20 or 30 laps to go, rather, he is sitting in a fantastic position to get this win tonight here in the Grand National Series. So while they are going around, I am going to look at the current Xfinity standings here after after this last race that we just had 2 weeks ago.
That was the Pocono Raceway event here with the NSRL League.
It was. Yes, it was. And leading your points right now, Kyle Milliken with 4 wins, 6 top 5s, and 7 top 10s. He has a commanding lead over Justin Diltz, Alan Kroll, and Ryan Chapman is looking for his first victory of the year. Kind of hard to believe that because he's been running so strong. 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s here in the Grand National League. But he is looking to put his name up in the hat with his other 3 Elevated Motorsports teammates there and get them an amazing win, which is going to put them as a team 7 wins on the season. They have won 7 out of 9 races here at the beginning part of this 34-race season, and that just shows you the dominance that these drivers have in the Elevated Outdoor gang. So we'll see if he's able to prevail here tonight, which it looks like he is. But Rick, we have a battle going on for P2 and P3.
Yeah, let's jump back and take a look at that battle between Ryan Broderick and Alan Crowell for P2. We'll ride along with Alan Crowell as he is trying to make a run at that 16. He certainly caught up to him coming out of 4. Had a good run. Coming across the start-finish line here as we go to, that's lap 141. A little of a higher line here. You saw that 16 go a little bit lower. That's the typical lower line around this track, but great run off of 2.
A fantastic run off of 2. So, a little bit close there, coming out turn 4, and he's gonna slide right behind that 16 machine.
Watch that steering wheel. It doesn't really move much. He's just not. He's not overdriving the car. He's just letting it kind of work its way through the corner. He apexes. That's where his run is. He apexes. Actually, he had to get out of the throttle a bit, out of 2 there. He had such a good run.
Yep, his turn 1 and turn 2 is his. Whoa! Look at that. That 16 is washing up the track. Oh, watch out! It's gonna be a tight battle coming off the corner. They touch.
A little bit of contact.
Here we go. I would not be too shocked if I see that number 9.
Oh, 16 a little sideways.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked though, Rick, if I see that number 9 give the 16 a little bit of a bumper there. Maybe here in the next couple of laps, we'll see what happens between these 2 drivers. That 16 looks so extremely tight through the apex coming off the corner that number 9 is able to just get right to the rear bumper.
He certainly has a much more aggressive line than what that 16 is, and of course this 9's kind of working his way around him.
Here's the run. Here's the massive run coming from the 9. 16 blocks slow. 9 goes high. He's going to do the same thing here, I imagine, in turn 3 and turn 4.
Crossover.
There it is.
There's the
16
block.
blocks. He's going to get the 9 a little bit out of shape. So this is the most action we've had all race with. This is awesome. So it's gotta say, this has been fun watching these 2 battle because, you know, Broderick is trying to hold off an Elevated Motorsports car that's been able to do amazing things all season long. Here's the run. 16's gonna block low. 9's gonna go high.
He backed out. The 9 backed out.
He's patient. He's patient. I like what he's doing. He's making the 16 protect every single line, which is making him waste his tires. Here comes the 9 to the bottom. 16 could not block there. 9 goes to the point in P2. But here comes the 16 to the back bumper. Oh, he is now going in low on the 9, but I think that 9 has position, Rick.
I think he does too.
So what a move by that number 9 machine to get to P2.
16
It wasn't
is
easy.
No, the 16 is definitely loose. You can see he's doing everything he can to keep it where he needs to keep it pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's loose on entry and tight on corner exit, which is not what you want to have at a track. I mean, that's just one of the worst conditions you could fight as a race car driver, because you can't be aggressive going into the turn. And what that's going to do is that's just going to, just completely interrupt your momentum going in through the apex and through the exit. And then once you get to the exit, it looks like it almost snaps loose. So it's like a loose, tight, loose scenario, which to me, that screams almost like a tire pressure change because it looks like the car is just really out of balance. But looking on now, you can see no, the 9 is not leading this race. That is actually the driver we're focusing on. The 7 is actually your leader, who is pulled out to a 20-second gap. Rick,
well, with the 9 and the 16 battling the way they were, it gave us great action and a great ability to enjoy the battle on the track. Unfortunately, it was so good for the number 7 of Chapman. He has just expanded his gap, and frankly, he is on a pace to potentially lap them, or at least close to it.
He may lap the field, Rick. Which,
the 16 was super loose there.
Yep. Which, you typically you don't see fields getting lapped in really any motorsport, but you may see that tonight. But if you're watching, we appreciate you watching this race. We know it's a little bit of a smaller field, but we've tried to bring you all the action from the track as we could here in the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. Don't fret, we have a lot of great racing coming up here in this series on every Tuesday night. Next Tuesday, we are looking at the fun short track, I consider short track, of Dover Motor Speedway, the Monster Mile and the Delaware 200. That is on next Tuesday, the 26th. That following Tuesday, August 2nd, we are going to be in Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, for the Mosport 250, one of the first road courses we have seen here in the Grand National Series, followed by an off week, and then followed by a great run of about 10 to 12 races, going from short tracks to Milwaukee Mile to a big track of Michigan to Watkins Glen on a road course. It's going to be a fun, windy season as this league starts to make its way through the season. But yeah, David, it is a little bit hard with fewer cars, but we try to bring you the best action and the best broadcast that we can. So we appreciate you watching Retro Wave, Dave. You've been supporting us since week 1, so thank you so much for that. That means a lot from everybody from the IWM Broadcast Network, especially Rick and I. Makes us, happy that we're able to put on a good broadcast. If you haven't already, make sure to like this live stream and give us a quick subscribe so we can grow this community of sim racing lovers and racing lovers as a whole, and so we can potentially get more leagues to bring you in the future. Because tomorrow night, Rick, it's our own league. The iRacing Sports Cup Series is coming to an end for season 1 tomorrow night. I believe we're in Phoenix, correct?
Oh, I think we're actually
Are we at
in
Homestead?
We're at Homestead.
I love it. I wish they went to Homestead for the finale. I love that track. So we'll be in Homestead tomorrow night for the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Cup Series season finale. You do not want to miss that. That is going to be live at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time here on the IWM Broadcast Network.
All right, so 13 laps to go. Your leader continues to be Ryan Chapman. He has got a significant gap over his second place competitor of Alan Crowell and third place of Brian Broderick.
And Rick, if I was Broderick, I think I'd be hearing the Jaws theme in my background, because Chapman is closing and closing in fast. We may have our first fully lapped field here in the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series. And what I mean by that is every first lap leader. So we'll see. It definitely looks like he's going to get to the bumper of the 16 machine. But is he going to get to the bumper of his own teammate, Alan Crowell, there? We'll see. Rick, what do you think?
I think it could be close, but I think he may run out of laps. There are 12 laps here to go here at in Kentucky, as the Bluegrass 250 begins to wind down. And there you have it. You've seen the 7-car lap the 16 of Broderick.
And now he sets his sights on the 9. His own teammate, who is about 6 seconds in front of him. Yeah, he's going to have to make up about a half a second a lap, which is pretty tough to do.
Well, that last lap, Ryan Chapman did it in a 33:36. Alan Crowell did it in a 34:12, so it's mathematically possible. We'll just have to see.
We shall see. He's got to start doing it now, because that'd be pretty interesting to see. Yes, it has been a smaller field, but still able to lap a third place driver in a race. It got to feel pretty good if you're that number 7 machine, able to put on a show like he has been. But we are 10 laps to go in the Bluegrass 250. We appreciate everybody watching tonight, whether on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. We appreciate all of our viewers.
That's about a half a second, that last lap with Ryan Chapman over Alan Crowell.
And just look at how much time he just gained, right? He gained literally 0.4 of a second right there. I don't know if he's hearing us, but he may be thinking the same thing. Like, ooh, I may be able to get the entire field lapped, which is a heck of a thing to even consider in a race. But he is almost there.
That was almost a full second he made up that last lap.
If you can see it right here, see how much time he will gain coming out of this corner. It just stacks up.
Well, the first time we talked about this 2 laps ago, he had an entire backstretch between himself and the second place car of Crowell. That is now down to half a backstretch.
Yep, and Crowell is just now passing the start-finish line. So Crowell, Chapman there has to make up roughly about 4 seconds here in the next 7 laps. So about a half a tenth a lap, or half a second a lap rather, not a half a tenth a lap. But we're going to keep on this because this would be a heck of a talking point. Say, hey man, you were so good you lapped the entire field. But we'll see if that's the case, as it's now gone to half a corner, Rick. It's coming ever so slightly to the 7 of Chapman, and I think we're all patiently waiting to see if, I guess, would that be considered a sweep of a field? I mean, I don't know how. I mean, I guess you the entire field, or you sweep the entire. I don't know. I've never heard of that ever happening before in a race. But it's definitely new to us, and it's new to iRacing because I've never been a part of a race where the whole field is lapped. So we will see what happens as that lead is somewhat stabilized, but now it's down to about 2 seconds between the 7 machine and the 9 machine with 6 laps to go.
It's going to be close. It's about 7/10 per lap, so.
Yep, if I was the 9 there, I'd be like, really, man? I know you're my teammate and all, but you had to lap me.
You got to figure there's some in-race chatter right now between on their radio.
Now, all I'm saying is you hear that Jaws theme. It's coming. He's coming. He is now less than a quarter of a corner away here, and you can, if you look out the front of that 7 machine, Rick, you would be able to see the back end of that number 9 machine. So it is coming into fruition here tonight. We may have a full lap down field here in the Bluegrass 250.
Well, we're 3.5 laps left to go. We'll see how this all plays out.
We'll see. He's there. Still gaining.
I think Curl may have stepped on the gas a little bit there, but maybe a little bit too late.
Oh, he got loose though. That's gonna bring the back of that number 9 to the front of that number 7 as he walks the track. I could hear the tires over here. Here he goes. It's getting there, Rick. 2 laps to go in the Bluegrass 250, and no, we are not talking about anybody racing for any kind of position. We are going to see if this 7 car can lap the entire field tonight. He is right to the bumper of that number 9 machine. We will see what happens. The 9 does have the run coming off of this corner. 9 does get a little bit loose.
I think with this many laps to go, I think Allen will protect his position.
I think he might as well too. I think that's what probably would happen here, as we are now hitting 1 to go in the Bluegrass 250, brought to you by the iRacing Warriors Motorsports Broadcast Network. We thank everybody for watching along tonight, and we hope you tune in next Tuesday night as these Grand National Series drivers try to tame the Monster Mile.
You're on board with us as we're watching Ryan Chapman finish up through turns 3 and 4 and about to take the checkered flag and win the...
Close! Is he going to do it? No, he was not able to lap the entire field, but Ryan Chapman is your winner tonight in the Bluegrass 250.
So that's Ryan Chapman as your winner. Alan Curl will finish 3rd. Ryan Broderick will finish 4th. Ryan Broderick finished 3rd. David Courier finished 4th. Justin Diltz in 5th. And Dan Withers will take home 6th.
So that's going to give Ryan Chapman his first victory of the season, Rick. That's always a fun one, always a monumental win, because momentum does play a factor here in this series, and we've seen that with other elevated motorsports drivers. And there you go, burn it down, Mr. Chapman. You put on an absolute clinic tonight here in the Grand National Series, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network. So, Rick, as these guys have finished off an amazing race tonight, especially from the elevated motorsports drivers, let's see if we can bring in our top 3 tonight.
So I know for sure that we can definitely probably grab the second place driver of Alan Curwell and see if he's available to speak with us. I don't believe that the 3rd place driver of Ryan Broderick is any place that we can bring in, but we'll try and see. We'll see if we can grab Alan Crowell next and move him into the broadcast booth. Alan?
Oh, hello.
Hey, Alan. Welcome to the broadcast booth.
Oh, I guess nice to be here. I guess it was going to be hard not to be here.
Yeah, we were watching along, and we didn't know if your teammate there, Chapman, was going to try to lap you and lap the entire field here tonight. But you were able to come home with a P2. You were battling with Ryan Broderick there for quite a while, and we were watching on board of that, and we could tell you were being a little bit patient there trying to get around. So give us a little bit of a rundown of exactly what you saw tonight out of the car, and how you were able to really be able to protect your tires.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was doing a good job of protecting. Maybe a little bit better than Broderick. But after 5 laps, Broderick had me on the short run. So if anything would have happened, I don't think I would have had anything for him. But I could see that either his car was extremely loose and tore the tires off a bit quicker than mine did, because in mine, I thought was even quite quick. I'm like, I know I can run him down, and I know I'm faster than him. I just got to figure out be patient. I don't want to push anything. There's only 3 of us in here. There's no need to force the issue, especially with 20 laps to go. So I'm like, I can lay back here a little bit.
Yep. No, that was a good strategy. All right.
Yeah,
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Well, I wanted to congratulate you again on your second place finish. Any shout outs or people to mention?
The team, once again, coming in with a perfect setup for Ryan. And you guys, great to have you guys still here. Just need to get the people back in, figure out what's going on, whatnot. But I have faith that we'll be able to pull that back. So.
Absolutely. So thank you, Alan, for coming on to the broadcast booth, and we may see you next week at the Monster Mile. It's going to be a fun one here in this Grand National Series. So that is your P2 finisher tonight, Alan Crow there out of Elevated Motorsports. And let's see if we can bring up our winner. We talked to him.
Well, actually, I got Ryan Broderick. Let me see if I can bring Ryan Broderick into the booth.
All righty.
Ryan, welcome to the broadcast booth.
How you guys doing?
We're great. How are you doing?
Could be a little better if I had the right setup, but
Yeah, we were noticing, we were trying to dissect exactly what car, because great on the short run. Alan Kroll said it himself, but it seemed like it was just oddly tight, then loose, then tight, then loose, and it was just all, I don't want to say all over the place, but it looked like it was just a little bit of a handful to drive at times. So give us kind of a rundown of your race and your setup, maybe setup issues that you had.
yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair to say. It was really tight, so I just kept trying to go down on the left sides and up on the right, trying to loosen it up, and I got it okay, and it was better, but it fell off a cliff after probably, it was kind of manageable, I'd say, for the first 15 to 20, but after 20, it fell off a cliff, and I had some. The interesting thing is it was really fast on the short run. I don't know if those guys just weren't using up their tires or anything like that, but it had some speed on the short run. It just once after 5 or 10 laps, it just fell off too much.
Yeah, we could definitely see it pushing a bit on you.
Yeah, so it wasn't, make do of it, and then I had a setup from Atlanta. Couldn't really figure out what I wanted to drive setup wise because I didn't really work on a setup. I kind of just threw one in here, and I couldn't find an old Kentucky setup, so did the best I could.
Well, congratulations on your P3 finish, and looking forward to maybe seeing you next week at the Monster Mile.
Yeah, definitely we'll see you guys there. Appreciate you guys sticking it out. Tried to make it a little more interesting. 3 cars on the track's not always the most interesting to watch at times, but I appreciate it, guys.
No, we appreciate you guys and the show you put on. Anybody you want to reach out or thank before we move you back?
The Turn 2 Terribles that actually commented in the chat. Appreciate them for showing the support from the Posse Racing League. So, yeah, appreciate them, and we'll move on.
All right. Thanks. That's your P3 race today, Ryan Broderick, and we appreciate you, Ryan. And all right, thanks again. All right, let me see if I can bring in Ryan Chapman here. Ryan, welcome back to the broadcast booth.
What's up, guys? I finally did it.
Yeah, well, you got your first win of the season, which is an amazing. I was mentioning to Rick there, one win can lead to possibly a series of wins, a streak of wins here, especially for your number 7 team. So you put on a great show tonight. Your long run car was phenomenal. I was kind of rooting for you to lap the entire field, but I don't think Alan would have appreciated that too much. But give us kind of a rundown of your race, what you saw, and just how you were able to keep your car so consistent throughout the entire race, even on the long runs.
Let me tell you first off, the setup VRS Virtual Racing School, they build phenomenal setups. I mean, it just fits my driving style perfectly. it just was a rocket ship tonight. I mean, on the short run, it took off. But no, after the first stage, we had to make some tire pressure adjustments to kind of loosen it up a little bit on the long run. But after we made those adjustments, stage 2 went flawlessly, and then I was confident in stage 3, so said leave it alone, and it was history from there, man. We just took off, and I was like, do I want to let my teammate? I was like, so I was like, I'll just ride behind him for a little bit.
We were counting down the seconds as you were working your way through the field, but it was close. I think had you had another 3 or 4 laps, I don't think you would have had any choice but to lap him. But
exactly. I was like, I got 2 more laps left. I'll just chill behind him. But overall, the setup ran great. I mean, I finally put it together, and here we are. I mean, we're missing Kyle. He's a fast guy also, but got to capitalize on these opportunities, and now hopefully.
All right, sorry, Ryan, we got a little bit of technical difficulties there. You're kind of fading out a little bit, but again, congratulations on your win here at Kentucky, and we hope to see you next week at Dover.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, especially, and I just want to thank my teammates Justin Diltz and Alan for just helping me out, making me better, and better shows.
All right.
Absolutely. You got a quick shout out from Zach Wapples. Congratulations, Chapman. He said, "Let's go Chapman early in the race." So Zach Wapples, not sure if you know who that is, but you had a fan out there in the chat. Same thing with Diane. I don't know if that's your mom or your wife or girlfriend.
That is my mother. Yes,
Oh.
She is screaming in the background right now. I can hear her. So,
shout out to Mom for watching. I know exactly.
I can hear her screaming now.
But
right.
You did an amazing job. So good job tonight, Ryan, and hope you see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Especially you guys. You guys do a great job, and you will see me next week, and we'll keep doing it more.
All right, sounds great. All right, that's your race winner here at the Bluegrass 250 here in Kentucky. This is Rick Souza and John Durgis with the IWM Broadcast Network. We're glad that you could hang out with us as we brought to you the NSRL Speed Demon Grand National Series, and tune in with us for tomorrow night. We've got a broadcast of the iRacing Warrior Motorsports finale at Homestead, and then again we'll be back here next Tuesday for the NSRL Speed Demon event at the Monster Mile and Dover.
Yep, that'll be a fun one, Rick. So this is IWM. John and Rick, we are signing out. Hope you have a good one, guys.
All right, thanks again. Good night.